So you want to speak more fluently? Well, for that to happen, you need two things: a good vocabulary and good grammatical skills. But in this video, we're just going to cover how to build your vocabulary. It might seem difficult because there are so many different type of words, the definitions are long and you just don't know how to use them, right? So what the first thing you do is you find a word. Sounds weird, but how do I find a word? Words that I don't know? Well, there's something called books. Nobody reads anymore, so it doesn't matter where you get your new word from. It could be from the television, from articles on the internet, or from conversations. Now that you have your word, what you need to do next is you need to find out what kind of word is it. Is it a noun? Is it an adjective? Is it a verb? You might not know. We don't use physical dictionaries anymore, but Google does know. So all you have to do is just go on Google, write it in, and it'll tell you if it's a noun, verb, or an adjective. The next part is you have to know the definition. What does this word mean? Where can I use it? Where can't I use it? Chances are you'll have at least one or two sentences on that same definition paragraph. On each kind of word has its own set of rules: adjectives, verbs, and nouns. That's all we're going to cover in today's video. Okay, this is step number 2. Now that you know what kind of word you're using, all you have to do is be able to make sentences or questions. So you have to be able to fit the new word in. Before we continue, grammar Nazis and English professors gotta chill out. When you use hardcore terminologies, it just confuses the student more because English is not their first language. Back to verbs. In verbs, we have 12 tenses. You just have to know in which scenario to use which tense. We'll do another video on that later on. Once you know which tense I'm going to use, take the newly verb you just discovered, convert it to the right tense if you need to, put it in properly, and you're done. Let's use the word read. If we're just using simple past, I, and then convert read to read. I read your text late last night. If you're using present perfect, it can be I have read Harry Potter. I will have read 300 books by the end of this year, yada yada yada. Once you know your tense, convert, put it in, you're done. Verbs are that easy. Adjectives. Some adjectives end with ed, some end with ing, some end with y, some end with s. There's no rule here. That's just the word itself. If it ends with ed, do not confuse yourself. It's not past, it's not a verb. It doesn't work like that. If it ends with ing, it has nothing to do with continuous. It's not that. I'll give you some examples like depressed or surprising. Now, the next part is you have to use the right tense to make sure if it's past, present, or future. If you're using past, you can use words like was and were. If it's perfect, you have had been. If it's present perfect, you have has or have been. You have is or are. And future, you have will be. So just a few quick examples. Like if we're using ed, he is disgusted. Even though I'm using is, present tense, ed, disgusted, has nothing to do with past tense. Mostly we use ed when we're describing our emotions or someone else's emotions, and we use ing to describe events or objects or things. Few examples would be the event was surprising, and that's how you use adjectives basically. You just take the adjective, you decide if it's past, present, future, plug it in the right tense, and you're basically good to go. Last one, nouns. Nouns are a little bit more difficult to use because they are names, they are common nouns, they are objects, there's a bunch of them, right? So people get confused very easily. Number one, if you're talking about common nouns can be books, shelves, sofas, books. You have to put a or an before it, or the if you're making it specific. Only for common nouns. Please never put a, an, or the when you have a proper name or a proper noun, unless the is already part of the name. For example, the United States of America. Do not get confused. We didn't add the, it's already part of the name. And again, you have to get the right tense in. I'll give you an example. Let's talk about this, alright? Let's talk about, in this there are two nouns, ranger and apprentice. Both are nouns. If I want to use the word apprentice, he was an apprentice, he is an apprentice, he will be an apprentice, he had been an apprentice. So two things here. Never forget an and the, because common noun, it's not a name. Second, the verb, he had been, he was, he is, he will be. The verb changes according to the situation, so you just have to know which verb to put in where. But other than that, you can put in the nouns just like this. Now it comes time for reinforcement. Reinforcement is so you never forget the word. You feel so comfortable with the word that you can use it wherever you want. First rule, do not work with more than one word at a time. You'll get confused, make sentences out of it, make questions out of it that are relatable to your daily life. When can you use it freely, easily, like I can? Once you practice enough with it. Once it's inside your head, you can use it whenever you want. The last step is pronunciation. Okay, when you're learning a word, if you just read it by yourself, if you make up the own pronunciation by yourself, or if you hear it from locals, you won't ever forget the way that it's pronounced ever again, no matter how hard you try, because it's super difficult. So whenever you're learning a word, just go on Google, hear the pronunciation out, copy it 5-6 times, make sure it's embedded in your brain and you'll never say that word incorrectly. And we're done. If you follow these steps, you can easily learn words at home by yourself. Number one, you gotta find the word. Then fit it in the right place, just like I taught you earlier on the video. Then keep on repeating it until you are very fluent with it, and work on the pronunciation as well while you're learning it. Follow these steps, I'm pretty sure you can increase your vocabulary. If you guys like this, do leave me some feedback. Phase 1 is being able to use the language so we can communicate. So that's your motivation. You have to learn how to interact with the real world, the outside world, because that's where the business, that's where the future is. Share this video, spread the knowledge, help me grow, because the more I grow, the more beneficial things I can bring to you